Hi everybody, welcome back. Glad you could tune in again. I want to say a word or two more about the topic I touched on in yesterday's devotion concerning the way that we handle conscientious disagreements between Christians on matters concerning what we might call the application of biblical principles to practical daily life. You remember I gave a few examples, the kind of movies we watch or encourage our children to watch, the kind of books we read or don't read or encourage our children to steer clear of. Stuff like makeup that for young teenage girls, jewellery, that kind of thing. The sorts of things on which it's quite common for conscientious, Bible-believing Christians to just have come to different conclusions on. And they're the kind of things that don't make their way into our doctrinal standards explicitly. And therefore, it's not obvious where we can appeal to try and work out our differences of opinion. And yet they are the kinds of things that really do make a difference to our daily lives, the way we relate to each other, the way we fellowship, and so on. And I want to just highlight a couple more things which may be helpful for you as all of us are navigating these waters and learning to love and live together, as it were. And this occurred to me actually as I was reflecting on James chapter 1 and verse 19, which you'll remember. James writes this: "Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger." Quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. The kinds of situations that we're describing are just prime time contexts for when it's absolutely vital to be quick to hear and slow to speak and slow to anger. And that's true whatever the difference of opinion is between you and the person you might be talking to. Consider a couple of examples. Imagine you're talking to somebody who is, let's say, a little bit more towards the permissive end of the spectrum on a particular issue. Let's say what movies their kids watch or the kind of clothes their children wear. More the permissive end of the spectrum than you are. You feel you're more towards the small c conservative end of the spectrum. It's conceivable that the person you're talking to has never even given this issue a moment's thought. And you can see in that kind of context, if you're going to raise the subject with them at all, it's really important to raise it in such a way that doesn't presume that they have thought about it and are happy for their children, let's say, to go about in a way that you consider somewhat decadent at best and inappropriate at worst. It's just possible that you're talking to somebody for whom this particular application of biblical wisdom has just never occurred to them. And so being quick to listen, quick to hear, and slow to speak, and certainly slow to pass judgment is really important in that situation, because it's quite easy to cause problems in a relationship by jumping in with both feet and piling on with what may seem like kind of unfair criticism to somebody who's just never really thought about this before. Speak we must, but slow to speak and quick to listen, James says. But consider another situation. Let's imagine you're thinking about what kind of books your teenage children are going to read, or what kind of films you as an adult are going to watch. And there's a whole range of different things we might run into here. It's actually possible, not that the person you're speaking to has never thought about this, but they have actually thought about it very deeply. It's possible that they've reached the conclusion that it's actually highly appropriate to, let's say, read that collection of novels for reasons that have never occurred to you. And again, if you're quick to listen and slow to speak, having raised the subject, then you have the opportunity to learn. You have the opportunity to gain something from the person whom you're talking to. Simply asking, can you talk me through why you have made the decision to read that kind of material, for example, gives somebody the opportunity, if they have thought about it deeply, which it's possible that they have, to share their thoughts with you. And that's a way in which, as I suggested yesterday, all of us can grow towards a consensus and certainly towards a degree of greater mutual understanding in these issues, which otherwise do have the potential to cause a few waves and a little turbulence between us. Anyway, hope that's helpful. All the best. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.